We are fighting back against the hoax of the flu vaccines. I remember 2 months ago on air, I read the insert for the nasal live flu virus, and it said, may mutate the virus, may give you the flu, may spread the flu. Now I can read articles where hospitals are saying don't do it. Canadian doctors and the government said the regular seasonal flu doubles your chances of getting the regular flu. But it's just so outrageous that they get away with it. They clearly are trying to spread it to then sell their product. That's how diabolical these corporate controllers are. Bill Sardi, premier investigative journalist with LouRockwell.com. We're going to go back to him in just a moment. I wanted to let you know that Fall of the Republic, my new film, is out. And this is the documentary that is the most up-to-date, that puts all the big pieces of the puzzle together, that shows you from their own statements, their own documents, how the financial elite are buying up the world through fraud, how they're bankrupting the planet to openly bring in world government and the carbon tax, what the carbon tax is going to mean to you, what the global treaties are going to mean, the global government. This film, my other films are great, but this is a whole new level. This is a exponential growth curve in quality and material. Fall of the Republic, Volume 1. It's got Barack Obama's mug on the front because he's the closer with the slick Harvard, read off the teleprompter pitch. And he's there to pacify the public and to take the whole anti-George Bush revolution that was legitimate and energize the globalist operation by people thinking they're fighting the establishment when they support Obama, when he is the establishment. Fall of the Republic, available at Infowars.com, on the online video bookstore. Check out some of the discounts there. We have Fall of the Republic and other films for half price. We also have all the T-shirts. The point is, we've gotten the word out about the flu, and the establishment's starting to panic, and they're losing. They're still hurting a lot of people, though. But we're ahead in this game. You can do the same thing with Fall of the Republic on DVD, ladies and gentlemen. Order it, make copies, have viewing parties, give it to your local police chief, your sheriff, your pastor. Now is the time. You can also watch it in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv or call toll-free 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. You can also write to me. It's 1995, P.O. Box 19549, Austin, Texas, 78760. Now, going back to Bill, I want to get to some whistleblowers. Maybe I'll twist your arm to stay even more into the next hour because time's running out, and I know you have so much knowledge and so many important reports you've broken. But briefly, because then I have a question. Tell us about some of your best-selling books and materials where people can learn about this for themselves.
We do have a lot of articles at LouRockwell.com. There's a whole series there, and we're trying to do this day by day because of the zigzag information from the federal government. And you see, one day it's going to be, it's going to take 2 shots to develop the immunity this year. It only takes 1. You see, how did we get that change? They admitted that all prior years we didn't develop enough immunity because we needed 2 shots, one to prime our immune system, one to get it going. So, they're changing the ideas here that they're giving us from one minute to the other. It's a mock vaccine that we're getting this year. That means they approved the way that they make it, and then they were just going to insert the vaccine. You get it 2 weeks later. Well, wait a minute. Now they're not so fast in their production. This was supposed to be real-time production almost. Well, you know what? I think it is the mock vaccine. I think it is real-time. But I think they're reluctant to produce a vaccine that nobody wants, so they don't want to go in the hole on this thing any further. By the way, where is the declaration from the Centers for Disease Control? They're canceling the purchase orders because of lack of public demand. They don't want to eat it. You see $9 billion promised to the drug companies over this thing. We have to push back. If you can understand where we're going here, is that every possible infectious disease you would have to have a vaccine for, you're going to have 60, 70, 80 vaccines. This is insane. They're giving little kids right on the first day of life in the hospital a hepatitis shot. They can't even develop antibodies at that age. So you're getting nothing but disease, and it's going into children. We now have the autism rate 1 in 91 children. It's unbelievable.
From 1 in 25,000. From 1 in 25,000. Bill, let me throw out a few bullet points at you. You just dropped that giant bombshell. You've written detailed articles about how the big flu pandemics that we've had, 93, one of the biggest, followed the mass inoculations of the elderly. We know vaccines were associated in 76 at the military bases with the troops breaking out with it. We have AP and Reuters and CBS admitting in Asia and Latin America and the Middle East and in Africa, the UN is giving people live polio vaccines that are maiming them and killing them, and then they just admit it and nobody gets in trouble. Now they're giving people a nasal flu vaccine that they admit is spreading it. How obvious is that? To prime the pump. Now they're forcibly injecting school children everywhere. The evidence is they are doing this on purpose. I mean, this is more bold than I even thought. Who the hell are these people? What's the end game? Comment on those points, Bill, with your expert.
If you want to listen, all the skeptics now, if you want to listen to this, vaccine's one of the best things that's ever happened to us. Remember now, this is 1798 technology, cowpox technology. Edward Jenner was the doctor. We cannot continue to give ourselves 60, 70, 80 different vaccines in our lifetime for every possible infectious disease. And where they're leading us to, the end game, let me tell you where that ends up. You're going to have vaccine resistance. You're going to have antiviral like Tamiflu and Relenza resistance. You're going to then have antibiotic resistance. We already have that as they try to treat these super infections in your lung. And they're leading us to a dead-end street where no treatments work. So please push back from this agenda. And by the way, researchers at both the Mayo Clinic and in Japan saying if we went ahead and inoculated 70 to 80% of our population, we would put so much genetic pressure on these flu viruses that we might induce the very mutated virus that would then no one would have immunity to, and we would have a massive, massive destruction of human life across the globe. So believe me, if they're not listening to the scientists as they say, come back, do not go there, they're putting up red flags. The scientists themselves, and you see a totally different story from Centers for Disease Control, please. And, your children are going to get no benefit and possible. Now, I've tried to point this out. I have a little e-book. We offered it free at LouRockwell.com, The Hidden Epidemic. Young children do not have a blood-brain barrier until the age of 2. There is no barrier to keep germs from getting out. They rely on immune factors from their mother's milk and other ways of doing this. By the way, vitamin C, vitamin D, and fish oil should be in your children's regimen from day one. If you're giving formula, you put the vitamin C, D, and fish oil in there. And that'll mimic the immune system that mothers have.
And let me stop you. That's a whole other issue. They know that formula in the major studies results in smaller brains and weak immune systems. Do they put fish oil? Do they put vitamin C in there when the baby needs those fats and needs that vitamin C? Hell no.
But they don't have the others, Alex. What we're telling everybody and alerting everybody to is the massive death in 1918, thanks to Karen M. Starko, MD, allowing us to see it was the overuse of aspirin. And what does aspirin do? We went digging further. It depletes the body of vitamin C. What happens when you're depleted of vitamin C? You'll have hemorrhaging and filling of your lungs. You have edema, they call it, pulmonary edema. That's what you died of in 1918. The flu virus dramatically depletes the vitamin C levels in the lungs in particular. A doctor can do a blood test, see if your blood level is normal. He's only going to test your blood plasma. It's the blood, the lymphocytes, the white blood cells that are depleted of the vitamin C.
Bill, I'm no doctor.
You to die. You're going to die. All of the high-risk groups for dying, for mortality from the flu, are vitamin C deficient, the pregnant, the smokers, the diabetics, the asthmatics, all of them, every group. Now, we're trying to get a letter published in one of the major journals starting discussion about maybe the lack of vitamin C. You see, once they get you in the hospital, they're starting to give you the steroids to reduce inflammation that depletes you of vitamin C. They then give you the tetracycline family antibiotics. That depletes you of vitamin C. They then give you the diuretics because your body's filling up with fluid. Again, it depletes you of vitamin C. And they're leading you. This is why I've said for a long time there's no reason why anyone should die of the flu in an intensive care unit. They're intentionally or unwittingly, leading you to scurvy. When you die of scurvy, this is what you die of. The thing that tipped it off is that there's cerebral edema in the brain. That is a normal part of the flu. This, in 1918, was a vitamin C deficiency induced by the treatment and the overuse of aspirin. By the way, on the labels of every aspirin bottle is the proof of what I say. It says,
well, Bill,
do not take this if you have the flu.